Hello.
Hi.
Would you please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners?
Sure. My name's Tim Howell. I'm 32 years old. I live in Switzerland at the moment, which is perfect for me. Lots of mountains around. But I spend a lot of time traveling for climbing and jumping. So,
Great.
yeah.
How would you like to be called during our talk?
Tim is great.
Tim.
Whatever
okay,
you want to
Tim.
call me.
The first question. How would you define base jump?
So a base jump is a jump off a static object using a parachute. Pretty much as simple as that.
Thank you. The second question. How long have you been base jumping and what got you addicted?
So I've been jumping for nearly 8 years and 2 months now.
8 years and 2 months.
Yeah.
With an exact time.
Exactly, yeah.
How many times have you been base jumped?
So I normally do an average of 100 a year. So I'm just over 800 jumps at the moment.
800 jumps.
Yeah, which isn't that many, but a lot of my jumps take a lot of planning. So I can do 2 trips halfway around the world for 1 jump. So
Why do you do it?
I think it comes down to the challenge and the freedom. You know, in the mountains, you can do whatever you want. It's just you in the mountain. There's nobody saying you can't do this, you can't do this. And the challenge of being able to do something safely and within your skills. You know.
What are the dangers involved?
So there's quite a few dangers with that. That comes down to being able to mitigate the challenge and stuff. So, you know, the dangers can be ultimately fatalities. You know, broken bones and broken legs that can stop you.
I understand.
So it's, yeah, it can be pretty serious. Yeah.
And what does fear mean to you?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think too much fear is not good because you want to know that you're in control. But a healthy amount of fear to stop you doing something stupid. I think a healthy amount of fear can stop your ego making decisions for you. But yeah, the right amount is important.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you. The seventh question. What do you do to decrease your stress?
So something for me that really decreases stress is thinking logically. You know, if I'm about to do a jump and I've done all my checklist, you know, I know my gear works, I know my ability can do the jump, then I tick all these boxes. My kit, have I packed my parachute correctly? Have I measured everything correctly? And then once I've ticked the box and I can move it and I know, yes, that's possible. And I think just thinking logically can decrease stress. You know, some people have something called gear fear, where if they have a new parachute, they think, nobody's jumped this before, will it work? But you think logically, you know, of course it will work. I've packed it, I've checked it, and I think this decreases stress a lot.
So you believe that the key point is having a logical thinking, huh?
I think so, yeah. If I'm still very stressed because maybe I saw my friend had a bad jump, he's fine, but you know, my heart's beating a lot.
I understand.
I then do, you know, breathing techniques. You know, I control my breathing. I don't want my heart beating too much. So that helps as well.
Perfect. Well, I have some funny questions for you.
Okay,
Let's
do it.
start.
Yeah.
Yes. What is more frightening? Standing on the edge of the cliff or planning for a wedding?
Wow, so I actually proposed to my wife before we both jumped.
Great.
And she when I got down on one knee to propose to my wife, she said, "I've never seen you so nervous before." So 800 base jumps, and she said, "I've never seen you so nervous" when I proposed to her.
Wow.
So
What goes on in you when you take that one step from the rock and go from a human to a bird?
So that in a wingsuit, you're flying for maybe a few minutes. But in a normal base jump, when you just jump and you let gravity do its thing, it's that split second that is the most amazing feeling. The commitment, you know, and it's what I call the point of no return. So if you're standing on the exit, you can walk away. If you've jumped, it's too late. But it's just that split second where you can't go back, and that is the most amazing feeling. for sure.
Of course, yes. Many base jumpers spend their entire lives looking for the perfect jump. Have you found him yet?
I don't think you can ever find perfection. I think there's always something that can be better. But I've had a lot of amazing jumps that I'll never forget. And one jump that really I remember all the time is a jump in Greenland, and there was a sea cliff, and the sun never sets, so the sun's just on the horizon. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and there are icebergs. There's a boat sailing through the icebergs, and I jumped and I flew around a tower, like a rock tower. And when I was looking where my landing was going to be, 2 whales jumped out of the sea, and I just thought, you can't plan it, you know. It's just amazing. But because I was looking at the whales, I had a very bad landing, and I hit my helmet, and it was, it wasn't. I was upset with myself because that shouldn't have happened.
Any tips for those who are just starting out?
Yeah, lots of tips. I think the most important thing is you need to progress steady. You know, you need a plan of how to go from one to another. And in countries that it might not be the easiest to find mentorship or the ability to skydive or whatever, your progression needs to be maybe slower or adapted. So you need to stay, not let ego or bad decisions make any have any bad effect on you. But slow and steady wins the race.
Have you ever said no to a jump?
Yeah, on lots of different occasions. I did an event in Turkey a couple of years ago, and there was a big group of us, and it was a very windy jump, and we all said, not too sure. One person jumped, and the next person said, he jumped, I'll jump. Next person, next person, next person. And I said, if I was here by myself, I wouldn't jump. So I don't want to jump because everyone else is jumping. So I made a decision not to jump, just to tell myself I could say no as well. You know, sometimes you get wrapped up in this group mentality, and I think it's important to be able to say no sometimes. Yeah.
Great, good choice.
Thanks.
Some questions about Iran. Yes,
Yeah.
the place that you are. How do you see Iran's potential for this sport?
So from I've been looking at Iran and the cliffs for quite a few years now, and it got me very excited. So I'm so happy I'm finally here because of Corona and problems getting over here, but it's got a lot to offer for sure. So I'm really excited. I haven't jumped here yet, but hopefully over the next few weeks my friends will show me, and it's definitely got a lot of potential.
Great. Yeah. What do you think of our country and its base jumping future?
I think it's really good. A lot of the people have so much passion about it, and I'm really surprised to see so many people that are interested about it, which is, it's really good. I think there needs to be possibilities for knowledge and learning, and that's really important in a sport with such high risk.
Great. Some questions about women.
Mm-hmm.
What can be done to encourage women to start this sport?
Yeah, I think no matter where you are in the world, it's not a sport with a large amount of women participating. But I think no matter who you are, if you want to do something within the sport, then it's important to help them and to teach them. But no matter who it is, I think it's important that they're doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they want to experience it, or they want to experience the mountains, or the flying, or a challenge. They're doing it for themselves.
The last part is going to be the most amazing one. Yes, I'm going to ask you some words, and you tell me your feeling about them in short sentences. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one goes to beyond possibility.
Beyond possibility. Ooh. So I think a lot of people have a limit that they think is possible, And more often than not, you can get past this possibility, for sure. Mentally or physically, there's a barrier that you can always get past.
Altitude.
Altitude. Well, just in general, as altitude. Interesting, okay. Something that needs training and experience to get past, you know. I haven't been that high, but all my experiences of altitude it drains your energy.
Okay. Being a bird.
Being a bird. Freedom. Yeah, lots of freedom. Unfortunately, in a wingsuit, we can't fly up like a bird, but I think it's the closest to being like a bird, gliding around.
I understand. Danger.
Danger, I think for me is a motivation, because trying to limit that danger, to limit the risk, and still do your challenge, your climb, your jump, to stop the danger. And you can stop that danger by training, by gaining experience and knowledge, and yeah.
Goal.
A goal for me is also motivation, to set a goal and do everything you can to finish it.
And family?
Family, very important, whether it's, you know, friends are also family, they can be. And very important to listen to them if they know you very well, to listen to their advice as well. And it's always good to be around family.
Great. And the last? Future.
I think future for me goes hand in hand with goals. There's always more to do in the future, and when you say future, you know, there's always another day. If you don't do that jump or climb today because you turned around and you said no, there's always another day. So I think what I'd like to talk about is goals. You know, if you have a personal goal or a dream, you can achieve it if you really want it. And there's always a way of finding out how to reach your goal. For me, whether it was financial or time or finding the right people, being proactive and finding solutions to the problem. Things don't happen by accident or just fall on your lap. You know, you have to work hard and make these things happen. But when you do make them happen at the end of the day, all that hard work that you put into it makes it so much more special, because it just didn't happen by accident or by magic. You know, you worked hard to get where you wanted to be. And that's a really special feeling. So for me, it took me years of saving my money and learning to pack parachutes and packing parachutes for money, and finally I got to where I wanted to be. So it's really about putting the hard work in and being proactive, and that's what makes it really good at the end of the day. So I just want to say thank you very much for having me, and if you ever have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.